What's up, guys? We are back for another Marvel Legends review, and this is another one of those fan channel exclusive repaint figures, and this is probably one of my more anticipated ones from this bunch just because I like the character, I like the team, I like the color scheme, so kind of ticks off a bunch of boxes for me. So today we're taking a look at the Uncanny X-Force Deathlok figure. So this guy comes, of course, in our standard Marvel Legends packaging. So you've got him there in the window. You've got the X-Force logo down there on the bottom. You've got some artwork of Deathlok on the side. And then the back of the package has a small write-up of this version of Deathlok along with a product shot. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Uncanny X-Force Deathlok figure. A combination of a few things that essentially guaranteed that I was going to buy this figure. There were some of these fan channel exclusives that I wasn't sure I was going to get. I ended up getting all of them, but this is one that I knew right away. I have to have this one because I like Deathlok, I like the Uncanny X-Force color scheme, and I like this figure too. So from a toy perspective, it was kind of a win-win-win. So let's see what this guy can do. If you're familiar with the Deathlok that we got in the Sasquatch wave, then you know what's happening here. So the head can look up pretty good. He looks down all the way, rotate side to side. The arms go out at the shoulder, they rotate. You've got a bicep swivel, we've got double jointed elbows, and then you've got your wrist hinge and rotation there. They are different hinges though, so you've got a lateral hinge on the left arm, and then on the right you've got a vertical hinge, so you've got a little bit of a change up there, which I like. You do have your ab crunch, so he goes forward pretty good, backwards a little bit. Of course, there is a waist twist, which is hidden by the belt. Legs go out pretty good, even with the holster sort of in the way, they go out really good. You kick forward more than 90 degrees, and then he kicks back pretty good as well. You've got your thigh cut, you've got double jointed knees. Of course, you've got a shin swivel boot cut, and then you've got rocker, and you've got hinges down at those ankles. So he is, I mean, he's really basically the same thing that we've seen before with the Deathlok figure. The only real difference is that, well, he doesn't exactly look the same, but as far as the toy goes, it's the same stuff. But realistically, there's no reason why that's a bad thing. This guy moves really well, and he also looks really cool. So we have a solid figure to begin with. That Deathlok figure was one of my favorite Legends of that year, so it stands to reason that this guy is just as cool. Now, he is of course a little bit different, but for the most part, this is really the exact same figure, save for one little thing. So as far as the overall figure goes, obviously you've got the Uncanny X-Force gray and black color scheme, but the rest of the figure, you know, is basically the same. So you've got that cybernetic arm, you've got the cybernetic hands, you've got the cybernetic legs that run down into the kind of techno Iron Man-ish style boots, but it's just a cool look. I mean, you can't deny that Deathlok is a cool looking character, whether you really care about him or not. I mean, he's a zombie cyborg type of guy, so what's not to love about that? But I really like him in this color scheme. And again, like I said, I really like this figure because there is just a lot of stuff going on, from the sculpt on the arm, to the sculpt on the legs, to the metallic paint, to the metallic pearlescent plastic. Just all of that kind of stuff ticks off a lot of boxes for me in terms of the not necessarily important, but cool stuff that I like when it comes to action figures. And then I do like the Uncanny X-Force color scheme. I just think it works. You know, they're a clandestine kill team for the most part at this point, so it's nice to have this color motif, and obviously it kind of seems like we're inching close to getting a more filled out X-Force roster, which I really hope is the case, and I think Deathlok is a really cool addition, and obviously an easy figure for them to pump out. And like I said, this guy is basically the exact same figure. He does have a little bit of a change though, so that original Deathlok has a US flag on his chest, and it's actually sculpted in. It's a sculpted square on the chest. This guy has the X logo instead, so there is a little bit of a difference. It's not just a simple paint application. There is a little bit of a change there. And then you do have the cable that runs from his chest that pops in there, and then it runs into the power pack that's on his belt, which of course you've got a holster for his pistol, and then you've got the backpack here that's just like the original figure. It pops off, so it's just a separate piece. It plugs in there and it stays in place. It's never going to move unless you want to pop that guy off. It's just black plastic with a little bit of sculpted detail for that extra techno vibe. So I mean, it's a cool character, it's a cool figure, great design, good sculpt, good paint applications, just with a different color palette that, frankly, in a number of instances, I think is just cooler than the original. And then, of course, for the head, this is obviously one of the key defining characteristics of this character because he's got the half zombified, half decayed flesh head with the big cybernetic plate on the side. And this guy is basically the same as the original figure, except for paint applications and just how they're done. So you've got that great sculpt, very techno, very zombie decayed flesh look, and you've got one yellow eye, but the other eye, the bigger cyborg eye, is red in comparison to the yellow on the original figure. And then the actual kind of decayed flesh tones on the head are just a different paint application, different technique. The other one was more of a dry brushing, and this seems like a lot more of a wash has been applied to this particular figure. So it seems more like a difference in paint application techniques, but they all look very similar. It's just a little slight difference, and I think it looks really good. That red eye really sets this figure off, makes him look a little bit different outside of the fact that, well, he's wearing a different color suit. Now, as far as accessories goes, this guy is similar, but again, a little bit different to that original figure. So to start with, you've got the pistol over here that you've seen that's been in his holster the entire time. I like this little gun, a lot of detail on it. There is a little bit of red paint on the sight on there. It's just a little different, beefier, chunkier, very techy looking, and it seems kind of quintessential Deathlok style. I really like that. And then you've got the big monster Gatling gun here that we saw with the figure the first time around. Same sculpt, no paint on this guy, but it's an undeniably cool, very cool gun. And then a little bit of a change up for this guy is that we've got the bullets on this are actually translucent yellow this time around. They were gold the first time around. I can't remember. I don't currently have that one on display, that gun anyway. So, you've got this really awesome ribbon of bullets here to go along with, this big honking gun. And then the difference for this guy, and one that it kind of dawned on me what this gun is, you do have a third gun, and I could not place this gun for some reason. It's a big monster shotgun with a little bit of metallic hue to it, no paint on it though. And then it struck me, this is Bishop's gun. So this is the gun that the Bishop figure comes with. So instead of him having a Build-A-Figure, I suppose they were able to throw in an extra gun. I'm not sure you really need this, and he can hold it just fine in his hand. He can hold all of these guns with great ease, just fine. So you've got 3 guns to choose from this time around instead of the standard 2 from the original figure. And then here they are side by side. So you've got your Sasquatch Wave figure and your fan channel exclusive X-Force version. And you can see there is a lot to compare to, but then also kind of not a lot. It really comes down to just a few things. So palette difference in terms of colors for the body in general, the extra weapon, and then you've got the X logo instead of the American flag, and then you've got the different type of paint finishes on the head. They are otherwise the same figure, which is not a negative. This is an awesome figure. This is also an awesome figure. I'm a big Deathlok fan. It's kind of a win-win. So overall, if you're like me and you're a fan of this character, fan of this figure, this is a no-brainer. If you're already familiar with Deathlok, you know that this is a quality Marvel Legends figure. Hasbro really did a good job on this guy originally, and this new figure is no different. It just happens to have a different color scheme. And this, again, is one of those perfect examples of using a palette swap figure to get us a core team member in another team that they're working on to get him out as a fan channel exclusive, and I think they did a good job here. It really makes me think and hope that they are going down the road to give us more palette swaps for Uncanny X-Force. We can get a Psylocke, a Warpath for that upcoming figure, things like that. I think they're working on it, and this guy gives me hope that we're going to see it. And even if we don't, you've got a really awesome X-Force Deathlok out of the deal, so you can't really go wrong here. So that's going to do it for this look at the fan channel exclusive Uncanny X-Force Deathlok. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.